Okay, day everyone, it's Andrew here. So I'm excited about this video. This is a SharePoint version of the Digital Workplace Hub. So the weekly newsletter that I publish on LinkedIn, this is the SharePoint version of that. So it's got all the articles, all the resources, everything that I share there, but it's in a much more structured, organized way here on SharePoint. So I just want to take you through it and just keep in mind a couple of things. You might get some ideas here that you could use in your own organization. And secondly, I'm looking for some feedback about this site. So any improvements or suggestions you have, put in the comments. And I guess the third thing is I'm looking to share this site too with just a couple of people, or a few people, to get some feedback. So if you're interested in that, send me a message on LinkedIn. All right, so let's have a look what's on here. So I've got a homepage which has got some featured resources. But if we go to this search page, so we click on search, this uses the modern search web parts in SharePoint to enable filtering of all the information. So I've got about 600 pages on this site so far, and we can filter those pages in any way we want using any combination of these filters here. So let's say I want to search for events that are on about, let's click apply to that, about AI, click apply there. Right. So we see we've got 4 events there. Okay, so we've got this search page, which is very powerful. Now for each of the resources, so articles, events, people, organizations, I've got a page. So if we go to the articles page, all the articles I've added to that newsletter are here in one place. And I've got a filter up the top here. So I can see the articles by the topic or the technology, what how-to they might be related to, the author, what organization. So let's click on a how-to. So I want to see all the articles related to how to build an intranet. Click on apply. Okay, so I've got one article there. So that's articles. Now if I go to people, for example, it's the same idea. So I've got a list of people, I've got some filtering options up here. Same with organizations, I click on that. And I can filter all these organizations in a range of ways, including organization type. So if I'm just after organizations that provide frontline app support, let's click on that, click apply. And we'll see here we've got 3 organizations. So that's how that's set up. That's the raw information: articles, events, people, organization. Now I've got 3 other links here: topics, how-tos, and teams, which aggregates those raw resources into a meaningful way. So let's click on how to build a top-level intranet menu. Okay, so what we've got on this page, a bit of just information about how to do all that, but if we scroll down a little bit, we've got all those resources I just spoke about: articles, organizations, people. They're all aggregated around this particular task. So if I click on organizations, that shows me 2 organizations that have got skills or software or something to do with this topic. So Optimal, I know, for example, provides some good taxonomy developing skills for developing a top-level intranet menu. So that's the how-tos. Now we've got topics as well, similar to how-tos, but a bit more broader. So if I go into, say, knowledge management, for example, it's grouped everything, all those resources I went through, so the raw resources, articles, events, etc. It's grouped them all on the one page. So I've got a recommended section up here. Here's my knowledge management related articles. Let's click on the people. Right, these are people that really specialize in knowledge management. So some familiar names there for those that know about knowledge management. Some how-tos, some events, and again, organizations that are in that space. So that's how it's laid out. So we've got the raw material, we've got these ways of designing or bringing those raw resources in a way that's meaningful. And finally, the last thing I just wanted to show you was under the how-tos, this is a methodology. So this site that I've put together, I've used this methodology. I'm calling it the contextual digital workplace. And it's all sort of laid out here, how to go through the steps to build a site like that. So anyway, I don't want to talk for too long. Again, just to reiterate, any feedback you've got about this, any ideas, whack in the comments. Contact me on LinkedIn if you want to get access to this. I'm really only looking for 2 or 3 people initially. There's still a bit of content missing. And look, on another note, if you want to implement something like this yourself in your own organization, let me know. I'm really looking for like a prototype or an organization that would like to implement something like this. Reach out to me and maybe we can work something out. Alright, that's it. Thanks for your time. Like I said, there's a longer version of this if you want more detail on the YouTube site, and I'll put a link in the comments. Thank you. Bye. See you next time.